Once we stopped all the sales, like we did our launch, our pre-launch, and then we stopped.
Don't stop the sales. No, I'm joking. You guys are watching Build a Brand, and I'm your host, Stan Banks, and I'm here for episode 2 of season 2. Here with the Drunk Aunties. I'm here with
Tamika
and
Heather,
and they are
the Drunk Aunties.
And we felt like we rehearsed that for real. But so in the last episode, we talked to you guys about how they got started. We taking a look back. We still in the look back phase. I'm trying to bring it up to current times and things that are gonna happen in real time and what we were actually working on. But we gotta lay the foundation and the roadmap of where they were. So we left off with the pre-launch. Right. In the pre-launch, you said it was somewhat successful and everything like that. So I guess in this episode, we need to talk about what you learned from that pre-launch, what you guys went back and did, how you readjusted for your actual launch based on what you learned from that pre-launch. So what did you guys learn from the pre-launch?
Heather, you want to take it away?
The best way I can say it is we learned we were not fully prepared for it.
Absolutely.
We'll just say we weren't prepared for it.
I think it's a land of unknown. I'm gonna let you guys collect your thoughts about it. I know it's kind of like coming back from memory, but it is a land of unknown when you're running any business. This is just a t-shirt business when you have no guidance or you just trying to figure out what's the right thing to do. And it's always most important that you are doing something. You can fix something, but if you sit on the outside asking questions and not doing anything, you don't actually learn, because the questions you're gonna have and the things that you can learn from doing stuff are completely different from what you get from watching. So now, what did you actually like? Okay, cool. You weren't prepared, but what weren't you prepared for? What weren't you prepared to do? What did you feel like you needed to fix?
So I think still bouncing off of how we talked about in the last episode of the community and the audience, to say who our buyers were. I think it was a big piece on what we learned was we need to build the community. We need to figure out a way to build the community to expand, to reach, our audience, our actual target audience. So, a further reach. So with that is okay, now we need to dive into branding. We need to figure out how we brand Drunk Aunties. How do you...
And market.
How do you market? How do you brand? How do you get that exposure that we need for it to really be the community that we're looking forward to buying?
Exactly. Because we have a good idea. We have a great idea.
But how does this idea go further?
How do we let other people see it? How do we get more eyes on it? How do we get other people to fall in love with it?
So would you say you guys needed more information? You had some information that you launched based off of for that pre-launch. You guys needed more information. So I hear branding as one of the things that you need. I hear audience is something that you guys need. Now what about designs and artwork and stuff like that? Did you think that what you had at that pre-launch was fine and you just needed to correct those things, or did you need to go a little bit?
We didn't need to correct the designs. I think we just needed to push what we had and then build on that as well. I don't think we needed to change the designs that we had.
Because I don't feel like we had enough information or enough data to be they liked the design or they didn't like the design. It was more so of we won't know until we actually reach
Right. So now you guys identify, you guys assess, after you guys out there do anything, sometimes you guys take a step back, and it's not tearing what you're doing down. It's how can I improve? Even when I'm winning, I feel like I take my wins harder than my losses. It sounds crazy, but I'm I go into negotiate a deal or do something like that, and I'm like, damn, how could I got more? You know what I'm saying? The losses are cool because you can look at them I should have did X, Y, and Z. But when you really get deep into what you're doing, it's how can I have gotten more out of this? And you came out on top, but it's how can I make this 10 times better? And that is where it is. So you guys identify what you needed to work on. Now, what were the actionable things that you did in order to get that, to fix the branding and to build the audience? What things did you guys do?
So at that point, I think we touched on that one in the last one, but I can't remember. Once we stopped all the sales, we did our launch, our pre-launch, and then we stopped.
Don't stop the sales. No, I'm joking.
we stopped the sales.
Right, good.
We stopped. So it was my idea. Heather was like, no.
I think you should just leave them up.
Right. Heather,
if we get one sale a week, let's just take that one sale.
I agree with you.
Right.
Never stop selling, but I also understand you need to recollect yourself and figure some shit out sometimes.
It was me.
Too. So you knew when it's wrong, just do something.
Yeah. So, we had our piece on that one. And when we stopped the sales, we literally just said, okay, how do we dig into what we need? Where do we find that platform? So we joined like the Facebook groups, we joined Instagram groups, and like different communities that had the t-shirt information that we need, the branding information that we need, and we reached out to people who were better at content and branding and things like that. So we really kind of just started literally writing stuff down to go who we gonna reach out to, what we gonna do.
So if I remember correctly, you guys made about $1,200 from the pre-launch, just roughly. I like to put the numbers out there because we're talking to community. It's not about how much. It's not about what's successful or not. It's all relative to your situation. But now you need to invest in something.
Right.
What did you go invest in at this given moment?
We invested in a brand, someone to help us build our brand, to help us cultivate our community on Instagram. So a content creator. And then we invested in T-shirt Millionaires because we knew that he had previously had the marketing package,
right?
And he was building it up that he was about to do.
So cool.
Join T-shirt Millionaires.
So let's jump into the branding piece and the person that you guys hired. Let's give her a shout out so she may get a new client.
Taylor,
Mama Photog.
Okay, on Instagram.
Yes.
And this photographer here, she's good.
She's
good.
Amazing.
She put their whole brand together, but
she
ain't working with y'all.
She
told me flat out she knows her target market
very well,
and I respect it because
Black women.
Because sometimes if you cast a wide net, when you know what you want to do, like you guys were making brands and shirts and doing custom shirts out there, when you know your customer. People can come in and want to pay you and they can't make you move because you know the headaches that's going to come with that type of person. The better that you can dial in, no matter what the product is brand, you can identify the people that you want to work with. It keeps you your sanity, your peace of mind. You just stay on task a lot better. So shout out to Taylor. We'll have her information. We'll pop her up. But we'll have her information down in there. And I think she does amazing work. Looking at your brand, I'm like, damn, it looks really good. Now, do I think that was the time? Just me looking at as we came together and we worked. I don't think that you guys were there at that given moment. But the fact that you guys are willing to put the investment into that in order to start on a good foot. And you guys didn't use that as a reason not to do it, right? So some people like, I need a perfect logo. I need a photographer. I need this. And it stops them. You guys were doing it in the midst of things, invested into your brand. If you have the money, if you don't, some things I think you can get by with a cell phone, et cetera, et cetera. But in this given moment, I think that, I think it was a good call because she's really talented. I think it was a little premature, but it works. It works because your brand looks amazing and you can't tell if you were doing it for a month or you were doing it for 5 years because it looks synonymous across everything that you guys are doing. So cool. So shout out to Taylor and Mama Photog. Again, it's down in the description below. You can check her out. Ladies, check her out. Guys, just follow her, see what she's doing. Maybe you can learn something. So now you joined T-shirt Millionaires.
Right.
Well, no, we joined the Inner Circle because the T-shirt Millionaires class wasn't available.
Yes.
Right, the mastermind wasn't available.
And listen, for you guys out there, Charles, you guys know Charles is a huge part of the channel, man. I fought with him for a complete year, 1 calendar year about getting on YouTube, starting in 2020. And he got it. He's doing amazing things.
Yes, he is.
And he's structuring it, how he structures it, and different things like that. I've been a guest on the Inner Circle before, and different things like that. And it takes a village to raise a child, like an auntie, right? Aunties. But it takes a ton of mentors to get people where they want to go.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm not the end all be all mentor for people out there. And you guys already know I can correct the foundation on the printing and stuff like that. But ultimately, we need people to come in and be additional mentors because I don't know shit about ads. You know what I'm saying? Like I ran one ad in my life. I tried to do it at Lincoln University. And I got it on one person because I didn't know how it worked. But I'm organic. So I'm out here doing the work and putting myself in situations to be successful. And I'm pushing you guys to go out, be a part of conferences and different things like that.
Yeah, we doing that. It's
So
cold, though. It's a little
you
cold.
guys are whatever, indoor, outdoor, whatever, wherever you gotta be, put yourself in that position around
Cold
people
out in the streets.
and then try to extract as much value as you can. Cool.
Agree.
This episode's first featured product is Top Transfers. Top Transfers is my premier go-to for one-color prints when it comes to using my print method, the real POD, the best POD. That's press on demand. Forget that old print on demand stuff. If you want to control your quality of garments, you have to be using the method POD. That's press on demand. And Top Transfers is my go-to places when it comes to fulfilling orders for any brand with one-color prints. As you guys see here, you guys can visit Top, that's TOPP.tshirtsizers.com. I also have a link down in the description below. That is the way of supporting the channel at no extra cost to you. Now, back to the Drunk Aunties. So, when was the actual launch?
So our actual well, not even because the other one was a pre-launch. It was June. It was June 7th.
Cool. So, you guys came out with new branding. You got more designs.
Yep.
And better photography, better website flow.
Right. Understanding of content more, understanding the
What's-
branding,
did
the colors.
Did the wine get better?
The wine,
No,
the wine was always good.
I'm joking.
The
I'm
wine
joking.
was always
But
good.
that's great. Like, again, I think from this episode, what I want people to get out of it who are watching it is do it and fix it along the way. Right. One of the biggest things that, like, even let's go into some of the stuff we talked about recently. Is like, I understand how hard your niche is. It could be every woman, but it's not every woman, and it is very, very hard to identify people who care about their niece and nephew.
Right.
So, which means we got to get creative about how we go get them, right? And I'm gonna take this time to say I misprojected. I am not the law. I got my own views and points, but I never told you girls not to do something. I didn't think some things were gonna be as successful as they were, right? Which is these sets in the logo. I felt like the logo shirts would do a lot better because it'll allow you to expand your audience, and then once you get them into the audience, they'll resonate and do. But I think
you said the statement.
That's what I'm saying. The logo. Oh, my bad. Not the logos.
Like
the
the
statements and the
shirts.
different things that apply to people. I think that has a mass appeal. But I think what made these sets successful, looking at it, is the photo shoot, the photography, and because you guys hire her, your personality comes out in the photo shoots,
Right.
and people can see themselves in you too. Right? And now they resonate and it looks stylish and looks good. So that's my flowers. Listen, I got it wrong. I didn't think that this was the direction they should go. And they flooded my store with, I don't even know how many sweatsuits and tights and all of this stuff. And we're working through getting it out. A little bit underprepared. So I'm going to be flow out. But that'll come down later in the long. But now, you guys relaunched.
Right.
How was the sales at this relaunch? How did you feel about it? Forget the sales, forget the money piece of it. How did you feel bringing it back to the market? Did you feel like you guys had a lot accomplished? Did you feel like you made a step in the right direction?
So I feel like that we definitely were a step in the right direction. I feel like when we did our relaunch, we had the kind of content behind us with Taylor and working with Taylor, and our pictures were bomb. So it kind of put up the, us in it. They were personal pictures, lifestyle pictures, whatever the situation may be. And then, still working at it, but I felt like it was more confidence. Like we were gaining more confidence as we were kind of going along.
Gaining more audience.
Right, gaining more audience and really trying to pull in the community, understanding the stuff with like Taylor was using like the hashtags, and we were talking about we were
Big
having
stuff.
those conversations that got things moving, and we saw the community grow.
That is awesome because hashtags in a sense, that's like the Trump. That is in the real world, using hashtags and interacting and all of that stuff is like selling out of your trunk. Because you don't necessarily, it's not like an ad where you're going to get in front of people and see it. It's like, you got to do it. You got to get out here and make these hand-to-hand sales. You got to be here. And then you don't even know if you're going to get the ROI from spending time on hashtags and doing stuff like that. But it does matter. So one of the things we talked about before, before I even go any further, you said no, so tell me what your thoughts were. I was going to jump into it.
My no is because I feel like we kind of were we took those steps, but I feel like we still kind of landed in the same spot
When
we did
what?
the launch.
The relaunch. Does that mean like the money was the same, or what do you mean landed in
Like,
the same spot?
It just didn't reach. It reached more people, but it just wasn't. It was like
It wasn't
a couple more people.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't significantly bigger.
Yeah.
All right. This episode's second featured product is Super Color. That is my go-to for any full color print methods when it comes to using POD, that's press on demand, the number one way to fulfill your orders and also have quality control. You guys can visit supercolor.tshirtsocial.com. That's my affiliate link to let them know that I sent you, and that's your way of supporting the channel at no extra cost to you. Now, back to the Drunk Aunties. So now I'm big on mindset and perspective right now.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things we talked about was your first audience was like your family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
Was the audience the same at this relaunch, or was it more in line with where you wanted to go?
It was. I felt like it was still closer to the family and friends.
What you think?
I don't think so. So I mean, I get like number wise, it was still
Right.
followers wasn't there, but I feel like with the relaunch or the launch that we actually had people that were now inboxing us that we didn't know.
Right.
Like our community at that point was people
That's
that we
huge.
didn't know that were like, oh, I connect with this. And it wasn't a lot. It was maybe like 2 or 3, but I can
But that's
identify
huge.
some people that are from like, you know what I mean? Like
Some
that are
are
following
in-
us. And I was
That
like,
you didn't know.
yeah, that I didn't know, but literally I inspired.
As you know, you guys, I had the brand first from
Mhm.
Delaware, and I didn't feel like I was successful that was success. It wasn't about the money. It was when I was riding down Washington Street and I saw a dude that I didn't know wearing one of my shirts.
Right.
And then when you look at the sales and I started shipping stuff, I don't like, how the freak am I shipping a shirt to Tennessee?
No, seriously.
About Delaware. It's like, wait, where did
How
this
did you
come
end
from?
up there?
That tells you,
know
in
somebody?
my eyes, that's the first sign to tell you that you have something very significant.
Mhm.
I was very conscious that I didn't want anybody to know about who was running the brand.
Mhm.
I wanted it to stand on its own. So shipping that thing across the country to another state or somewhere like that, and then seeing that guy that walking down the street because I put him in the store, somebody bought it without me being there, was my first sign. Was like, oh shit, I done made it. Like I done made it. Like it's not my mom and friends just asking me to buy this stuff.
Exactly.
So the perspective of what you see, you got to take those small wins, and I feel like it's much more important. Everybody wants the high numbers, the followers or the higher. No, give me 10 people that's gonna buy everything that I drop.
Right.
Because theoretically, this is a huge lesson for you guys. Theoretically, if I got 100 people that are gonna buy everything that I drop, and I say it's $20,
Give me 100.
and every time I drop it, I'm gonna make $2,000 because all 100 people, even if it's not, maybe it's only 50 of those 100 people gonna buy what I drop. Every time I drop something, I can count on 50 sales. I know I'll make $1,000.
Exactly.
Right.
So in theory, if I want to make $100,000, how many drops do I need to have? 100. It's the repeat cycle. That is the foundation, and you can build on a solid foundation. Give me 10 people that's going to buy out of this whole 100 that I can count on, because now I know every time I drop, I can make that amount of money.
Right.
And then you take that foundation and you can use that to go build on. That's how you build your projections and all of that good stuff coming forward. So I think this episode was like a very, very detailed episode for you guys out there listening. And, you know, invest in yourself. Lesson number 1, you know, invest in yourself. You know, a lot of people don't do that. You know, go hire the person that you think you need to hire. If you figure it out, if you can afford it and all of that good stuff.
Listen.
And, you know, put this stuff together. So what else you guys got about anything here, that some notes from, you know, that you can recall from this conversation that may be helpful to somebody?
I think just kind of piggybacking off what you said, like legit investing in yourself, because the first time with like the pre-launch, because we weren't, you know, utilizing, staying at the moment, we were utilizing another print shop locally. But when we came in with 50 sweatshirts, and he was like, what are y'all doing? Like, what y'all got something? We was like, no, but like he looked at us like we was crazy. It was just like, so y'all just think that y'all said a small order. We was like, yeah, like 50 to 100 is what we thought. And it was again the same look that you gave us when we came in here with all of this sweatsuits. So it's like, but we feel like legit in you know, it's just something that's just like, this is it's gonna be something. Yeah. Like, it's just something like, this is gonna be something, and you feel like it's gonna be something, and it's like, it make that investment and just move forward. It either flops or it don't, and it's like, but it's the effort that you put into it and that you put into yourself.
Exactly.
And what about you?
I would say reach out to those people that you see are kind of not in your lane but parallel to you. Mm-hmm. So just reach out to them, because that can become part of your community, and that's that crossing. And it helps with getting more eyes on you, and you getting your audience eyes on them.
I definitely agree with you guys on that note, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the most important thing, and this may become true episode to episode, is not waiting, right? Not waiting for a response, not waiting. Assess yourself, figure it out, and then along the way, as I always say, I got it from Nipsey Hussle, is take the stairs. And if somebody offers you an elevator for two stories or something like that, hop on the elevator, be grateful, be thankful, take the advice, and just get back off and keep taking the stairs. Mm-hmm. Because you can't force anybody to be invested on your idea. But it's a lot of people along the way. Once you start walking in that path, that'll fall in your lap, that'll help you. You know, hey, maybe the first time they tried to reach out to me, it just wasn't the time for them. You know, maybe it wasn't the time, but right now it feels like the right time. You can feel how you want to feel.
No, but that's the same thing you would choose.
We can live in the past, or we can say we don't. They could have came here and said, I never want to work with Stan because he ignored us, right? Or they can come in here and say what they gotta say, and we can put it behind us and move forward, right? All of this stuff, this isn't about t-shirts anymore for me. It's about life. It's about lessons, and all of this stuff translates no matter what the product is, no matter what the service is, the business is. Even in my real life, how I run my family has turned into this bigger philosophy of how the world should work and does work based on what I'm learning throughout this journey. So this has been episode 2 of season 2 of Build a Brand with the Drunk Aunties. Oh man, a lot of information in this one, a lot of good clips. Let me know down in the comments below what you have learned, if there's any notes, if anything that you can add. Let's have a conversation down there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been your boy Stan Banks from T-Shirt Side Hustle on Build a Brand. Peace.